Hey there, I'm Dan Martell, serial entrepreneur, investor, and creator of SaaS Academy. In this episode, I want to share with you how to use upselling to increase customer happiness and retention. Because to me, if you're able to get people a higher level of service within your product, then you're going to get them happier. They're going to be more activated and stick around. And be sure to stay to the end, where I'm going to share with you how to get my EBR Flow Planner. It's a 9-box model for doing executive business reviews. Some people call them QBRs, quarterly business reviews, but sometimes we don't do them every quarter. So the EBR Flow Planner, I'll tell you how to get a copy of that at the end. So when I was building my company, Flowtown, I remember one of our potential investors talking to us about a concept called expansion revenue. And I was like, oh, okay, never heard about this. What's expansion revenue? Essentially, it's the amount of money that you add to overcome contraction and downgrades of your account. So if you have customers that, pay you every month and they cancel, well, if you can get a certain percentage of those customers to upgrade to another plan or to add new add-ons to expand their relationship, their monetization with your product, that's called expansion revenue. And there's this really cool thing you want to achieve at some point called net negative churn. I won't get into that, but understanding the concept and then trying to think to myself, how can I introduce add-ons, et cetera, what I call strategic pricing or strategic P3, pricing, packaging, and plans, will allow you to figure out how to do upselling properly. But in this video, I want to share with you what one of my coaching clients, Ryan, asked me about that I taught him, which was how to leverage support to get more people to be aware and buy add-ons of your product. There's actually a few other steps that I'm going to get into first, but it is a big opportunity that helped Ryan increase his expansion revenue by 10% on an annual basis. That's huge if you know anything about expansion revenue, and I want to teach you how to do that today. Number one, offer an account review. Now, I think my favorite example recently of this was Zoom. So I don't know if you guys use Zoom. I use it for all my team meetings, all my webinars, all of my live streams. I mean, it's an incredible platform. And I think it was around Christmas where I got an email from Zoom's, one of their, whatever. I don't even know if it was an account executive or it was an SDR or BDR or whatever, or a customer success rep. It didn't matter. But they were like, hey, we just want to follow up, do account review with you, cost nothing, and see where you guys are at, if you need anything from us, and then also talk about some new things that are coming up in the new year. And I thought that email was incredible. Now, I didn't take them up on the offer, but I sent it to my team, and I had one of my team members who runs kind of operations get on the call and have that account review. And it's just an incredible way of saying, hey, I want to make sure that you're getting the most out of the product. I want to see if you have any questions for me. So it's proactive. Most people don't think about this, proactively into their business. And then we're also going to tell you about kind of our roadmap and what we've got going on. Well, that conversation is where you have the opportunity to offer any upsells, any add-ons, any new, you could even pre-sell future releases of your product or modules in that conversation to start pre-selling and building commitment amongst your customer base. So I think one of the most powerful things that you could do today if you have customers is offer an account review and use that conversation to drive an upsell. Number two, QBRs, quarterly business reviews. Now, I don't call them that. I call them EBRs because, again, they don't always happen on a quarterly basis. But the idea is that when you onboard somebody, you want to set up essentially a flow for checking in with them, and you set that expectation at the beginning. Now, obviously, this requires a customer investing at a level, usually a mid-market investment, 10K annual contract value or higher, where you can afford to have somebody dedicated to the account, and maybe twice a year, 3 times a year, or quarterly, you have a scheduled meeting where you review their goals, their projects, any challenges. You make sure that you help loop in some other people on your team to help overcome those challenges, because you're really just looking for them to adopt the technology more, implement further into their organization, and activate any accounts that may be dormant or any departments that aren't using it as much. You want to show them the data of how your product's being used within their organization. And it's in that conversation, kind of similar to an account review, but on a more strategic cadence that they commit to up front so that they're always showing up with the right team members, that you have the opportunity to upsell or identify expansion revenue opportunities. Now, who decides to sell? Is that customer success or an account exec? That's a different debate for another day. But at least identifying those opportunities are going to come from your QBRs, your quarterly business reviews, or again, what I call EBRs. That is the flow, is just helping them kind of think about like project management. If you were helping them manage the deployment of your technology in their organization, you'll probably identify gaps. And it's in those gaps that if you have an add-on, you have an upgrade plan, you have a solution that you can offer them, that'll allow you the opportunity to make the offer. Number 3, support selling. Now, this is the specific strategy that I taught my coaching client, Ryan, which is every day I was like, how many support people do you have? He was like, well, I think we got like 20. It's like, perfect. Those people every day are communicating with customers, hundreds of customers a day. And if you build the dashboard properly, so essentially most support software, you can kind of add tags to an account to kind of give the person context for like what plan they have, what level of revenue they're at, what level of support they might have, any other modules that they're using. And what you can do is you could run a query to say, okay, everybody that's not using this, I want to add a flag to the account in your support software. And as support teams, you got to teach them this. There's some training, some coaching involved. They solve the problem for the customer. They might see that they don't use a certain area of your product, and they can offer that to them. So after they solve their problem, imagine you reach out to a support person and they solve your problem and then say, hey, I noticed in your account this. Did you want to learn about how you can get this benefit in our solution? And be like, oh, wow, that's amazing. Thanks. Let me know. The best company, the best example that does this is GoDaddy. I can't tell you, like probably once a year, somebody from GoDaddy calls and it's like, hey, it's John from GoDaddy. I was just in your account. I noticed that this thing was expiring and I wanted to know if you're still using it. And I'm like, wow, here's somebody that reached out to me proactively to ask me if I'm still using something, because if it's going to renew and I'm not going to use it, that they'll cancel it for me. But this was the kicker. In that conversation proactively, they then said, hey, I noticed that you have 27 domains, and if you had this subscription package, you could actually save 10% of those domains. Do you expect to renew those domains next year? If yes, you should probably be on this other thing. And I was like, man, here's a guy that was proactively helping me save money. Now he's trying to get me committed to a long-term subscription product, which is probably better for their internal revenue. And it was done in a proactive way from a support point of view. So here's the opportunity for you. If you have enough customers, are there situations in your customer base where like things are true, that if this is true and this is true, this is what they need to be on. It's better for them, it's better for us. If that's true, then you want to build that list of targeted accounts, give it to somebody on support, have them proactively reach out, phone calls, emails, help them out, and then offer that upgrade or that enhancement. And I think that is a win-win-win where everybody wins. The customer wins, you win, and your team wins because they're building momentum. So real quick recap, how to use upselling to increase customer happiness and retention. Number 1, offer an account review. Number 2, set up and schedule QBRs so you can manage them, quarterly business reviews. And number 3, support selling by not only solving their problems, but looking for opportunities to enhance their experience with your product. As I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, I want to share with you an exclusive resource called my EBR Flow Planner. Essentially, it's a 9-box model, the agenda that you would follow to execute your quarterly business reviews. The link's below to download that, but the way it works is really simple. It's got all the flows that you're going to use to initiate the quarterly business reviews or the EBRs, and then that way you can use that exact same agenda, that worksheet, to follow up. It kind of works into itself where you build the plan, you have the report, all the different flow, the questions you need to be asking for the next one. Maybe you do them twice a year, maybe you do them every 3 times a year, maybe you do them quarterly, but you can click the link below to download your copy. If you like this video, I would encourage you to smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and let me know in the comments below what aspect or what you took away that you liked most. And as per usual, I want to challenge you to live a bigger life and a bigger business, and I'll see you next Monday. Please don't go. Don't go!